I think afternoon tea is a great experience for all London tourists to have. And while there are a lot of amazing options in this city, as a London expert who has tried many afternoon teas, in this video, I'm going to tell you about the ones that I think are the best around the city and that are worth the hype and the cost, because they are not cheap. By the way, if you're not really sure what afternoon tea is and all the etiquette around it, you might want to go watch my important things to know before doing afternoon tea in London video before you watch this one. But otherwise, let's start with the best afternoon tea for tea snobs. Or maybe just somebody who likes trying unique and rare things like I do. But the world famous Claridge's is your go-to for this. Their tea menu is unrivaled with quite a few rare options. In fact, there's one that is only served in two places, Claridge's and Noma, which is the Michelin-starred restaurant in Copenhagen that you might have heard of. Plus, don't forget you're allowed to try a bunch of different teas when you're at an afternoon tea, so you can really go wild here. The rest of the experience is very traditional and of course is set in the world-famous Claridge's Hotel, so you might see a celeb or two while you're there. The best afternoon tea with kids. Some afternoon teas welcome kids with open arms, some of them are really not made for them, and some are kind of in the middle. But I think the best afternoon tea that is great for both kids and adults is the one that's served at the Sanderson Hotel. They do a Mad Hatter's themed afternoon tea, so everything is very Alice in Wonderland, it's very whimsical, and it's quite different from what you would find at most other places. It's quite magical. I really enjoy it as an adult, but it works really well for kids too. Now, if you're on a budget, let's talk about the best cream tea in London. If you don't want to do an entire afternoon experience, either because of cost or you just don't really feel like doing the whole thing, you could instead opt for a cream tea. This is basically just the scones, the cream and the jam, and then the tea part of the afternoon tea. Now, there are very few places in London that are offering that these days, but if you go to the Ivy Garden in Chelsea, they do offer a cream tea. It's not usually on the menu, but last time I was there, they were able to serve it even though it wasn't. And if you manage to go when it's not raining and it's okay weather, you could sit in the back where they're beautiful garden terraces. Now, if you want a very traditional afternoon tea, that is coming up. But first, if this is your first visit to London, I know it can be really hard to know and keep track of all the things you have to do, book, and buy for your trip, but also when you're supposed to do them by, so you make sure you don't miss out on anything or end up spending more money than you really wanted to. So my team and I created the London trip checklist, which tells you everything you need to do, buy, and book for your trip, and when you should be doing those things by, so you don't have to think about it yourself and you can just check them off either digitally, you can keep it on your phone, or you can print it out. And it's free, so if you want my London trip checklist, just scan the QR code that's popping up here or click the link down in the description box of the video. Okay, so the best traditional afternoon tea. So this is if you want the absolute classic form of the afternoon tea experience with no themes and no adjustments. And I think they do this so well at the Diamond Jubilee Tea Salon in Fortnum & Mason department store. The decor is very classic, the finger sandwiches, the scones, the jam, the cream, the sweets, everything is very traditional and also good. And they usually have a piano player playing some music or some twinkly music, so it feels very like old school and elegant. I do usually recommend you have your afternoon tea with a glass or two of champagne, and then you can go tipsy shopping around Fortnum & Mason afterwards, which is more fun if you do it with someone else's credit card. It's an idea. The best luxury afternoon tea. There are a lot of luxury afternoon tea experiences around London, and for a long time, I resisted this one because I thought there's no way that the experience can live up to the hype and also the price tag, which is one of the highest in the city. But I finally tried it and I actually really loved it. This is the afternoon tea at Sketch. Yes, you've probably heard of this. It's one of the most famous afternoon teas in all of London. The decor, the service, the food, the drinks, the teas, everything is up to the standard that I would expect for the price that you are paying for this afternoon tea. And I am a tough critic. If I'm telling you guys to spend this much money, I'm gonna make sure that I think it is worth it. And I spend my own money to do these things, so I also want to make sure it's worth it for me. So if you want a really luxurious experience, maybe it's a very special occasion, or you just want to get dressed up really nice and go for a beautiful, beautiful afternoon tea, then Sketch is the one to do. And make sure you schedule in lots of toilet time so you can go pee in an egg, because that's what you do there. Best afternoon tea if you don't like sweets. I know a lot of you don't really like sweets, or you just want to try to like not have that many of them. So if that's you, this afternoon tea is a great option for you. Plus, it's actually one of the most affordable options I have found across all of London. It's the High Chai Tea at Cinnamon Bazaar, which is a great Indian restaurant in Covent Garden. Even if you went for not afternoon tea, I do really recommend it here. And they do an Indian themed afternoon tea. And basically they don't do scones, instead they do more savory Indian food. So you only get a couple of like sweets at the top tier, but the rest of it is all savory. And it's really good. I mean, the chaat is delicious, especially the pani puri, which is so cool because you pour the liquid that comes with it into it, and then you like go and you take a bite of it that way. The food is great. Plus, of course, in the name, it says High Chai Tea. You get lots of chai tea. I love a chai tea. So again, great if you are not big on sweets and also want something really affordable. Best afternoon tea if you do love sweets. One of the big names is actually where I'm gonna tell you to go. And that's because on top of already getting the top tier of sweet treats you'd get at every other afternoon tea, they also come around with a cake trolley where you can pick another piece of cake from, or two, because they bring two around. And also, if somebody in your group has a birthday, they then also bring you another cake. So you have like a lot of cake and a lot of sweets, and also it's all refillable. So if you want more, you can ask for more. I mean, it's a lot of food. I couldn't do it. Maybe you could, but this is all at the world famous Ritz. And if you do want all the sweets, make sure you try to get your booking around 3 months out, because it is very, very hard to get bookings for afternoon tea at the Ritz these days. So don't sleep on it. The best themed afternoon tea. Now, once you've done the traditional version of afternoon tea like 2 or 3 times, or many times like I have, it does get a little bit tired. So that's why I actually love a themed afternoon tea. It really shakes things up and also can just be like a bit more fun, to be honest. That's why I mentioned the Mad Hatter themed one before, but my favorite themed afternoon tea in London is great for anybody who likes their food to be little works of art, because it's the art afternoon tea at the Rosewood Hotel in Holborn. This afternoon tea, which changes every few months to be inspired by a different artist, has the sweets are like works of art. They are so beautiful. You kind of don't want to eat them, but you should eat them. But even the sandwiches are crazy. Like right now they have a hokusai inspired afternoon tea. And one of the sandwiches is, let me read it off. Yuzu and ponzu, marinated scallop crudo, lime zest, coriander, and fresh wasabi. Like the egg mayo could never, like goodbye, no. They serve all of this in their very beautiful mirror room. And I will tell you that a lot of celebrities say that their favorite place to stay in London is at this Rosewood. So again, you might be sat next to somebody who has been in a film you've watched or something. So that's a nice added bonus. The best all-around afternoon tea. Now, this is a hard one because I have done so many great afternoon teas all around London, and many of them are good in their own ways. Some of them maybe not so good. But there's one that I have been back to quite a few times that has always been fantastic, and that I'm really happy to recommend friends and family to go to, because I know they're gonna really enjoy it, they'll be treated well, and they'll get their money's worth. And that is the afternoon tea at the JW Marriott Grosvenor Hotel. They serve it in their very beautiful park room. There's usually somebody playing live piano for a little bit, and they sometimes have a traditional offering, but most of the time they have a theme, and they just do really beautiful, elegant themes. Like right now they have a pas de deux afternoon tea, which is basically like very classical ballerina inspired. They also do really great Christmas/winter themed teas, which most of the footage you're seeing right now is from that one. They just do it so beautifully. And because it's a JW Marriott, they're used to lots of Americans, and the service standard at this hotel is at American standards. So the staff are really friendly and so attentive and so on top of everything and just are there to make you as happy as possible. Now, there are some bits of etiquette that you need to know before you go do an afternoon tea. Plus, there's some things to know like what should you be wearing? What time should you expect to go? Things like that. And I tell you about all of this in my important things to know before you go to afternoon tea in London video, which you can watch by clicking the box that's popping up here. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.